Welcome, friends. It is time for Tidy Up Tuesday, and we are ready for some more craft room organization. So let's check in, everyone, and say hello. Welcome to Tidy Up Tuesday. Do you guys have your work clothes on, your hair up in a bun, and ready to go? I hope so. I have so much to talk to you about paper. Okay, today we are just going to, let's see if I've got this right. There we go. We're going to talk paper. Okay, thanks for saying hi. Hi, you guys. We've got Sharia's here, Lorena's here, Belinda's here, and Cindy, and to my Cindy's, Janice. Oh, welcome everyone. So do you see, I have my paper wall behind me, and we have a lot to talk about today. This has been highly requested. It's always highly requested because I feel like paper is just one of those things that we really need to kind of get a handle on, so that when the scrapbooking process or in the creative or card making or whatever, process you're doing, you know where things are. And so today I'm going to share some of my favorite tips on the things that I use to keep myself organized. And remember, we are not perfect here. This is in process, but there we go. Forgot I had that one coming up. Those are my links. So if you don't know me, if you're new here, let me do something here. Let me see. I got to go this way. I can't. All right. So anyhow, let me just mention, my name's Lauren Hinds. Hi. I feel like I'm just trying to sit up over that. There we go. Hello. And you guys laughing with me yet? So I love sharing with you guys. I love sharing all kinds of things. I'm just going to get rid of that. And one of my favorite things to share is organization. So, oh my goodness, look at everybody who said hello. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we are doing hair up today. Lisa's here, Lori, Sandy, Laura, Jane, Belinda, Sue, Yudi. Okay, Karen, everybody, thank you for saying hello. Love seeing your faces pop up with your little name. And we have so much to talk about. So as usual, what's going to help me, if you have a question, because I have a little screen that gives me all the chat, put a Q there, and I'm going to try to come back and answer your questions. Okay. So that's what we're going to do, because you might have to, ask a couple, clarification questions. Now, and here's the thing. I actually wrote down, you guys had a lot of questions from last time. I went through and wrote down some of those questions. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay. I wrote down some of the questions from last time because I did want to just take 1 minute and answer some of those. And some I've been trying to type, but you guys, I get bombarded with, Facebook Messenger, personal messenger, text messages, emails, you name it, leaving comments to videos, leaving comments to my Facebook Lives. So I tried to go in and look in all the places and try to find your questions. But if I don't get it, just remind me again, or, just bring it up now. Okay. So that's the best thing to do. So one of the first questions, I'm so glad you guys, from last time, really enjoyed the cart. And I have to say, I love my cart. I so love my cart. We're going to take just a quick minute, 1 more minute here, and talk about my cart because I do love my cart. So some of you asked, which cart was it? So I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a kind of a weird thing right here. Okay, so here's the cart. This is the cart from Michael's. Michael's has different carts, right? So you can see this one. I'm trying to get a good angle on it. This one that I have is 3 high. Now they also have carts that are 4 high, right? So it depends on where you're going to put it. I wanted mine to be able to go under, so you can see, like, I pulled that out. It goes under my workspace and then it's totally out of the way, which is what I love. And then I know a lot of you guys were so excited to hear about the little skinny bins from Michael's, right? So these are the little skinny bins. And then what I was realizing is that I had some of my tall things like in the top, and then it wouldn't slide under. So I got an extra bin and put it on the second shelf down, right? So I have bins down on the second shelf, and that's where my tall stuff lives, so that my cart can slide right under. Now, since last time, I did get a chance to do more labeling. So now all my boxes are labeled, which I love. You know, I love my label maker. And I have the Brother P-Touch, and I'll have these all linked. The reason I chose this one is because of this, my friends. It has a power cord. And I hated always trying to search around for batteries. It seems like I never have enough batteries with 4 children. So I found the label maker that had a plug-in, and so I never, ever have to worry about batteries. All I have to do is find a plug. So that's the label maker that I use. I love it. The other thing, just so you know, like if you have a font, and their fonts are kind of weird sometimes, like if you use a certain font, just type out what it is. Like this one is LGO. I have no idea what that stands for, but that's what that looks like. So sometimes I was like, what does that look like? What font is that? Just make a little sample and stick it on your label maker, and then you'll know which font looks like what, right? So just a little tip. Okay, so back to the cart super fast. What else did I want to tell you about the cart? There's something else. Oh, well, like what I thought might be fun, not necessarily today because we're going to talk paper today, but at some point I will go and tell you exactly what I have in my little cart in each of the little things. But I know some of you were also asking, like, where do you get the little containers? So some of the plastic containers, I look everywhere I go. I love looking for containers. And this one is actually from a store called Daiso, D-A-I-S-O. It's like a Japanese dollar store. And I loved it because it was super skinny. And it fits just perfectly next to the cases. And I also had a question, where are the cases from? And the cases are from Creative Memories. So if you go to the Creative Memories website, one second, I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to get to the right screen here. Okay. And then let me do a screen share here. Okay, so this is the Creative Memories 5x7 photo box and cases. Now, you guys know, I've said this before, if you get the big one, the 5x7 with the cases, you basically are paying like $3, $2 or $3, I can't remember the math now, for the big case. You get all the little mini boxes inside, and then you basically get that big box for like $2 or $3. So it really does work out better if you get the big case rather than the little 2-pack individual cases. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure you knew about that. And let me go back to here. Hello again. Okay, so what then, Lauren, if you have all your cases in here, what do you do with the big box? Well, I'm going to talk about that with paper organization, because I use those big boxes for other things. And then I love having all my little mini boxes inside for other things. Okay. And you can definitely, if you want to keep all those mini boxes in your big box, you can, but there are so many things, other things that you can do with the big box. So I like kind of having, it's like 2 for 1. You get a big box organizer and you get all the little mini box organizers. Okay. So that was, I think I've rolled through a lot of those questions. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I have them out here. Ta-da! So you guys, this is just another tip. When I thought what I would do is, when I think of things, hello, let me come up here. When I think of things that work really well, I'm just going to like roll them into this series so that, you know, you can go, oh, I can do that. So do you guys see these? These are alcohol prep pads. I love these things. And I just decided these are actually going to have a place on my cart now too. Why? Because these are so amazing for cleaning my multi-purpose tool, right? So you get a tool and you get it and it's all icky like that from moving pictures around, moving stickers around, and you get your little alcohol wipe and the little, you know, they're always moist because they're in that little container. And then you guys look, it's perfectly clean. Okay. Ta-da. Maybe I have to clean a little bit on the edge. This one's kind of used. I have several, as you guys know. Okay. So when you think of things, I think Lynette was the one who said, like, all the favorite things right up here, and like all the things that go on your page are all in the top, but also all the things that, instead of me having to go, oh gosh, where are those alcohol wipes? I got to go, you know, pop up and get them. So these are going to live in the little cup down here where my Post-its live, right there. So I have a little cup right here with my Post-its. So alcohol wipes are now going to live in there with my Post-its. This one has all my tape runner. You know, we've kind of talked about other things. I know Annette really liked the S-hook with the ruler on it. So think of things that you can do. S-hooks, super easy addition, right? You can just look them up, S-hooks. And if your ruler has a hole in it, even better, right? So, and I also have my paper rings. Those are on another hook. That's on a, I'll show you that one. That's on one of the, what are they called? Command hooks, right? So I took a command hook and I just stuck it on the cup. Why not, right? You got to kind of keep using every inch of space. Take advantage of your cart. Okay, so I know we weren't really talking carts today, but I did want to kind of go back and share some of those little tips from my cart. So I hope you like that. Okay, let's come back and I think there might have been just one second. Oh, I'm losing all the comments. Yeah, Sue says nurses use alcohol pads for all sorts of things, keeping a stash of those in your craft room for a long time. See, nurses know, right? Absolutely. Okay, so love cleaning with alcohol wipes. They don't work as well on, I wish they worked really well on the 13 by 13 cutting mat, but actually what my favorite is, and I know there's a lot of different things, because sometimes I'm too lazy to go and like go get, you know, the proper cleaning. Somebody told me there was a tip on alcohol, maybe was it alcohol and Mr. Clean bars, but I also just love my little gummy eraser, and this lives in my cart. So whenever I get a little extra dots on my 13 by 13 mat, this is what I use, and it just comes right off. You just get this, comes right off. Okay, so that lives in my cart next to my corner rounder. Right there. Everything's right there. All within hand's reach. Okay. So, yes. Yeah. Okay. So Julie says, yeah, she uses a lot alcohol wipes for a lot of craft things as well. Okay. Oh, so Joe, I hope I just answered your question about alcohol pads cleaning the 13 by 13 mats. Not so well, right? I think, but if you use it with, someone said use it with a Mr. Clean bar, it works really well. But like I said, I also like those little gummy things. Okay, those work really well too. Okay, so where can we find the gummy erasers? Actually, Cherie, I ordered a bunch in. I found a really good one, and I ordered a bunch in, and they're in my Scrap Some Joy shop. And they're soft and mushy, and very pliable. And I've ordered a few that I did not like. And so I actually kind of got these in bulk and just put them in my shop. But if you are looking, what you want to make sure is that it's a soft, pliable one, not a hard one, because the hard ones just don't work. Okay. And yeah, Undo and Goo Gone. Yep, that's in one of my, that's in a cup too. It's in a cup. Okay. Along with my handy dandy scrap roller. Okay. All right, friends. So let me, yeah, good. Yeah. The adhesive remove. I know. So it works really well. Okay. So, oh, there are a few of you who commented on my plants. Woo, look at that. So I wanted to share, I found a new little thing, and plants, I have to thank my girls for this. They have brought so much like relaxation, comfort, something. This is totally off of paper organization. I'm sorry, but I have to digress. So they do add so much to your space. So even if you're in a little corner or whatever, get a favorite plant. And I have been so happy that my girls have gotten me into plants, because if you can just find little places for them in your craft room, that helps. Now, what I realized is that I love every single surface in my craft room that I can definitely have. So do you see what I did? I found this. Let me show you another picture of it. Let me see right here. It is, can you see it better there? It's an clear acrylic plant hanger. So if you notice, like at the top up here, wait, up here, right there, it's screwed into the ceiling. And then it's these, okay, it was a little bit of a bugger to put together. I'll just say that. But the aesthetic is so cool. It's clear. I have my favorite plants on there. I'm kind of a fern girl. Can you tell? I love ferns. They're one of the hardest ones to keep alive, but I do love my ferns. So that just now is hanging, and now my plants are off the surface, right? So does that make sense? Very cool. I am actually, I looked hard for a really cool plant hanger, but do you see they kind of just even look like they're floating? Isn't that neat? So if you want to save space and you have a ceiling, that is an option for putting some green in your space, because let me tell you, it does really help. Really helps. So where you can find all these things, just really quickly, I want to mention, I'm going to do another quick screen share. I have, and I'm working on building this more and more. So I have an Amazon store. Now, that doesn't mean I sell on Amazon. What that means is I put all my favorite things on Amazon for you guys to find easy. Okay. And I know this doesn't help my Aussie friends and my Canadian friends as much, but at least it'll give you a starting point to look in your own countries, and Puerto Rico too. So this is a craft room organization. That's the list. There's also printing and cutting at home. That's another list. Whoops, that's not going to click on. Printing and cutting at home. It has all my favorite things like the Canon Crafter printer, the Silhouette, the Cricut that I use, the little Epson Picture Mate that I also use. So I'm trying to gather everything in one place. And that's kind of, actually, it's so funny because that's kind of my theme for today too, which is, even when we're talking about paper organization, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like we've got to talk about how we think and how we scrapbook, and that's how we start organizing the best for us. So I'm trying to do the same thing on Amazon, just so you have that easier to access. And that is, I'll leave a link here. I'll leave a link for the video, but it's basically, if you it's amazon.com/shop/craftsome joy. So it's just, like I said, I do not sell on Amazon. It's just a place I can put my favorite things. Yay! Okay. Because I get asked about that a lot. I still have my favorite things page on my website. So that'll stay there too. Okay. Someone also asked about Michael's coupons, and when I bought my cubes, did I use coupons? You guys have to look for, if you're going to redo your craft room and kind of stock up on some of these things, just keep checking the sales. You know, all the holiday sales are on their way, right? Probably next month. So keep an eye out. And I can't guarantee it, but sometimes you can get like I think when I got these, it was when they were doing a promotion, something like if you buy $65, you get their Michael's cash or something like that, like a $10, or I don't know what it was. Anyhow, but I tried to take advantage of whatever thing was going on at the time. But some things like these, you can't get on discount. So, you know, it's hit or miss there. And I know some of you folks even said, I don't even have Michael's. So I'm sorry about that. Okay. All right. Cynthia had a question. And okay, the other thing I did, I had people asking about these drawers. These are also in Michael's. If you can't find them in your store, go to the website and look for the 12 by 12 acrylic. I think it might be under the Simply Tidy brand still. And have them shipped to your home, because if you buy a certain amount, they ship it for free. So just do that. If, you know, not all stores stock the same stuff, but a lot of times they'll do free shipping if you hit a certain threshold, right? Rewards. Thank you, Monica. Yes, rewards, right? So like if you buy so many cubes, you get so many reward points. And so that's what I did. And then actually, I remember now, I would buy like, say, a set of 4, and then you had to wait a day for you to get the rewards. And then I would use the rewards to buy more. Okay. So there's that. All right. So question from Cynthia, your son made, I'm not sure where the rest of that question is. Where can we find these lists? The list, my favorite things list is on my website at craftsomejoy.com. And there's a tab up at the top that says my favorite things. So I have a list there. And then I also have this list on Amazon. I think that's the question. Oh, Belinda. Oh, tell me what kind of fern changes colors with the seasons, because I'm a fern girl. Yay! I love it. Okay. So let's see. Pro Pack for the plain cube. Yes. So they do have these in Pro Packs too. Thank you. 13.5 square cube bookshelf. Oh, there's the rest of it. Will paper holders fit? Oh, good question. Let's see. I think so, because I happen to have one right here. These are, let's see. These are 12. Oh, it's going to be tight. 12. Yeah, it's going to be exactly, because I think these are 13 and a half tall, the Power Project folders. But you could also turn them on the side, and they're a little narrower. Okay, so it all helps. Okay, good. Absolutely. Every little reward coupon thing, everything helps. All right. We are going to talk about punches. We're going to talk about stamps and dies and other tidy ups. Okay. And I got those questions, and I think that's about it for questions. I'm going to pop on and we are going to watch a little video about my paper wall. And so are you ready? Here we go. Let's check it out. If it goes, let's go. Here we go. It's not going. Come on. Click over there. Okay. Let's see why it's not working. Doesn't want to go to that screen. Why is that? Okay. Let me see. Now let's see if it'll go here. Nope. Doesn't want to go. See if I can use my buttons. isn't it working on my paper wall? All right, we can do it a different way. It's not working. My streaming software says, no, we're not going to play that for you. We're going to play that video for you. I got another way to do it. Don't worry. I got it. Okay, so we're gonna do a share screen. And we're going to play the video. Okay, see? Now you see my video. Here we go, guys. So there's, I need to take the sound down from there. Now, I need to go find, can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay, because I know that was trouble in the past. You couldn't hear me. All right, so what I wanted to share with you today was a little bit about my paper wall. So we've already talked about cubes and cubbies. Oh, and someone did ask, oh, I didn't find any cubes that don't have, you know, dividers and so forth. Yes, these are the ones with the shelf dividers, but I just took them all out. Okay, so these cubes do have the dividers. You can see kind of those holes there. All right, so what's happening here? Let me pause it for a second. I'm going down the second row. So I have all my color paper on the top. I'm going down the second row, and the second row, I have seasonal. This is where we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Seasonal sections by seasons. So we did spring, summer, fall, and winter. After each one of those is are also the holidays that go in there. So you can see winter has Valentine's. I know that doesn't kind of fit, but it is a winter thing. And then the next cube, and after winter is Christmas, so forth. The next cube, this is my travel cube because there are so many amazing travel collections. After travel, I have my kids cube. So this is all kinds of school, and you can see graduation. I even tucked pets in there. What a zoo. And then I have kind of my last cube is baby, and then also heritage. And then on my top shelf, on the very end, I have all my journaling paper, my ruled paper, my dot grid paper, as well as I keep that on my cart as well. And then it just goes in rainbow order, all the different colors. Now, I hope you caught right there. Do you see natural disposition? So to me, natural disposition was very much a color paper palette, right? It was, and yeah, there's a little bit of botanical stuff in there, but it really had a lot of natural colors. So when I was running out of room, I thought, okay, if I'm looking for kind of those tones of paper, I'm going to pop that up there with my color paper. And I do that with some of my collections. So you'll notice some of the, and I do have a rainbow also. So there's prismatic. I do have a little couple cubes that are just rainbow because sometimes rainbow's just rainbow, right? And then we go back into colors, purples, blues, greens, so on and so forth, all the way down. And I'm just going to kind of, and you can see sometimes they're blue and gold. Yep, that is in my little cubby that has blue pattern paper. And I'm going to kind of go back into this in just a second. But I wanted to give you kind of an overview what that whole wall looks like. Now there's two more cubes, and this is kind of the new spin I have, and a few other tips I'm going to share today. And that is, I have a couple more cubes because believe it or not, I'm overstocked on paper. It is crazy. I know. Unbelievable. I got to get going on my scrapbooks. And so these two cubes down here, I ended up making one cube just for this one right here is just kind of what I'm going to call it is by project. Okay. And these are really non-theme, non-color. It's kind of those paper packs that go, you're not quite sure where to put them. Right. But what I realized is that these paper packs are exactly the ones that I am going to be reaching for when if I'm thinking of a certain thing, like I need kind of just a certain a color palette, or if I am working on my everyday moments album. So a few Friday night scrapbookings ago, I did an everyday moments album. These are those perfect things to grab when you're making that kind of a album, right? So they're just kind of, I don't know what I would say, just really nice collections. They don't have a whole lot of pieces to them, but they're just general, like your general category. And then after that, I also had a little overflow. So I put my party and birthday and wedding over in that cubby. So I'm hoping when I'm done that I'm going to have a little more space, and I can move those up to my top 2 rows. But just that kind of gives you an overview right there. Whoops, sorry. Okay. And I'm sorry, I did not see any comments while I was sharing that video. Okay. Julie said there's no such thing as too much paper. Yeah, there's a lot of secret boxes in that cube. Exactly, Sandy. And my prints are mixed. So we're going to talk about that, Cherie, exactly how I have my collection stored. And I think, yeah. Belinda says, CM has this video on the website. Actually, that was a video I did for them about Power Project folders and paper organization. And I have a video just also, let me see, where is that? Here. That is called At Last at Peace with My Paper. And it's on my craft room organization playlist on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And this kind of goes into the nitty gritty again about how I have my paper organized. And I do have a link to this video in the description. So if you want to kind of go once again, kind of into detail. Now this was in my old, and when I was in the basement in my old craft room. So what we're going to talk about today is what is still working out of those things, right? What's still working on my wall behind me? And a lot of that is still working, but then what have I kind of tweaked a little bit? Okay, so let's jump in and talk about that. I'm going to switch over to the overhead camera because I have a lot of different things in front of me that I kind of want to share with you. So give me just a second to move my computer out of the way. Okay, and let me switch over here. Okay, so I've got all my devices right here. So I try to bring the camera up as far away from my table as I can so I can kind of get in here and share some of my favorite things. All right, now I'm going to roll through some of this, and then I'm going to kind of look up and try to check in with the questions. We are going to talk about scraps, okay? And I'm going to share this with you in just a second. But first, I want to keep going into how I have my paper organized and what are the things that I use to keep my collections tidy and organized. So, I know I mentioned this briefly other places, but one of, and these are the Power Project folders. So we're gonna just get into all this good stuff here, folks. Okay. And all the things that I use. I've got the piles right here. Okay. We're going to talk about those. And I'm going to hang my ruler back up on my S-hook. And, okay. And then we're going to talk about this option as well. All right. And I have one more thing to grab out of here. Okay. So, just hang on a second. Hang on a second. Here we go. Let's talk color. I wanted to keep that all up there first so you could see it, but now we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Okay. So, Cherie, your question, how do I store my paper? This is always, always, always going to depend on how much stock you have, how much paper you have, right? And I want to say that, you know, I have to I have to clarify. I've been scrapbooking for, you know, a long time, over 25 years, over 25, a long time. And so I've collected a lot over the years, just like I think a lot of us have. And that paper video that I just shared with you does go into also, I've had a lot, I did other videos on how I took some of the older Creative Memories palettes, things that were just sitting as palettes, and I broke those apart and I put them into color categories. So my first tip that I would say how to organize, the best thing I can tell you is you need to organize how you scrapbook. How you scrapbook. How do you scrapbook? I scrapbook by color, by theme, and by season. Those are really kind of the three. And then my fourth one I'm adding in today. So in my video, I talked a lot about color, season, and theme. But the fourth one is also what I'm realizing is I also scrapbook by project. And that's what I just shared that cubby with you for my Everyday Moments project. That's how I scrapbook as well, by project. So, and I'm going to share these bins over here. Don't let me forget. So we're going to talk by color, by season, by theme, and by project. Color. I had so much paper. I needed to put them in 2 Power Project folders. So this one is, this is just an example. So I put my larger scraps here, my larger, anything that a picture can fit on, a 4.5 by a 6.5, or maybe even if I had a scrap that was a little larger and will fit in this pocket, goes here. So if I want to mat a photo, bam, it's right here in this pocket. All my journaling cards, and if you have those story box cards, you know, this is the perfect place to bring those out and tuck them in, and those go in the right pocket over here. I have a small bit of scraps here, and this is how I started, but I really like my scrap box right here, and I'll share that with you in a second. But if you have a few scraps, you can put them in here. Now, how much does this Power Project folder hold? Oh, so much paper, right? That's a good 1.5 inch stack of paper. So I always put the full sheets in the back, and anything that's cut goes in the front. Okay, so if I need like a big sheet of paper that these are usually 12 inches or, you know, anything 8 or 10 or 12 inches long will go in the front. I try not to put too many scraps. This one I can see, I probably have a few scraps in here that could go, well, no, that's like a 6 by 6. Might go other places. But I try, here's the trick. I try not to put too many scraps in here, because what happens is when you put too many scraps, this gets a bulge in it right here, and you can't slide it into your cubby very well, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? The bulge. And that's the thing I want to share today. One of my tips is minimize your bulges. And I'm going to share how I do that, because I found when I was trying to get the most paper on my shelves, it was the bulges, those little packets of, you know, embellishments or map cards or whatever that were making these bulkier than they needed to be. So I have solids and I have prints. Okay, so any kind of a solid cardstock goes here. Any kind of my prints go here. And let's not forget the back side, which if you've maybe have some leftover are super old, guys. Leftover borders or strips. Again, that helps tame the bulge by adding your strips in these nice long pockets in the back, because then they're not all bulging up in the front, right? You get too many strips up here and you've got the bulge. So we want to tame that bulge and keep everything tight and organized in our Power Project folders. Okay, so I have prints on each color. So I have pinks, reds, blue, green, blues. I had a lot of blues. So I actually had to do light blues and dark blues, light blue prints and dark blue prints, because I just had so many. Yeah, but all kinds of bulges are frustrating, aren't they, Sherry? Okay. Yeah. So let's tame the bulge. Now, the other thing that I was realizing in this whole color category is I'll just admit it, I'm kind of a paper hoarder. So what's happening? What's happening is that I have other things that I am collecting in my color categories, and I'm going to share these. We're just going to kind of keep going with the pink theme here, and I'm going to pull out a couple more things. So you might have heard me say my new paper organization system is Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear. Okay. And that goes for colors, that goes for themes, that goes for collections. So it's kind of, you keep those three sizes in mind when you are talking about paper. So the Papa Bear are my Power Project folders. These guys hold so much, right? But then what I was realizing is Creative Memories sometimes just comes out with so many beautiful colors of plain cardstock that I kind of hoard it. I'll put it down and I'll just call it what it is. I hoard it. I'll get a whole 10 pack and I want all those colors in one sleeve. So what I have started doing, and this kind of goes back to my color ring, right? So these are all the colors that, Creative Memories has come out with over the years. I was lucky enough to have a lot of these. I still had the little insert, so I knew what color it was. And so I created my color ring from little samples, and I knew the names. And so this has all the names of all the colors. So what I was realizing was on some of these colors, like this is an older color, like you're not going to let me, you're just not going to get me to give up taffy. This pink is so awesome. So I have a sleeve with an Avery Ultra tab, and these are the record sleeves, and they are on my favorite things page. And this is the Baby Bear pocket. Okay. These are the brand I use is the Checkout Store outer record sleeve cover. And I know a lot of you have done this because I talked about this 2 years ago, and I'm still using it, and I still love these sleeves. My biggest tip, if you don't want to get that brand, the reason I like them is they are 4 mil thick. 4 mil thick. Some of them are 2, some are 3. You guys, they just don't hold up. So whatever brand you get the thickest one. Like, don't get 2, don't get 3, try to get 4 or more on how thick these sleeves are. So these are the record sleeve covers with the Avery Ultra tabs, and I'm going to talk about Avery Ultra tabs in just a second. Still my favorite way to label and organize, and these are removable. You can take them off, you can stick them back on. The only thing is, if you write in pen, they are not erasable. Okay, so yeah, and Chris says she has the same ones and they are a nice weight. So you know what I'm talking about. I've bought different ones. These are really nice and And, you know, they've held up over 2 years. I'm still using them in and out off my shelves. So along with my pink, my Papa Bears, okay, my Power Project folders, I have my baby bears for just little tiny collections. Now, the other thing is I found the perfect mama bear sleeve. These are, and again, I'm using the Avery Ultra Tab with this sleeve. These are the Samsil right here. And there's another brand too. And I bought those. Like I said, you know, I try a lot of stuff. This is another brand, and I think it's just a smidge less expensive. I prefer this Samsil paper file brand, and these come in at like about $1 a piece, around there. They're great. And I know that there's other brands, if you're not here in the US, that are very similar. What I love about the Samsil is they have this big dip cutout in the front, and I just like that. And I kind of just like the gusset on here, and the quality of these. Okay, these are linked. Samsil paper file. You guys, the first time I talked about these, they sold out. I'm sorry, that's not my fault. When I talk about things I like, yes, people get them. They've restocked, because I couldn't even buy them for myself. I just recently bought some more. I restocked, but I really love the size of this folder, because sometimes we have collections like Botanical Pink, right? This was from Botanical Burst. And I thought, I don't really need to store botanical. You could put this with florals, okay? But this to me is a very pink collection. So much pink in here. And I thought, if I'm looking for pink to scrapbook, because that's how I scrapbook, by color sometimes. If I'm looking for paper that goes with my photos that's pink, I'm going to look in my pink cubby. So now I have Botanical Pink here. And do you see how the gusset is much smaller than the Power Project folders? So what I was finding is, originally I was just putting everything in Power Project folders. And here's one. It gets expensive, right? Because those are amazing folders, but they are expensive. Two, it was taking up more room on my shelf, because remember, we're talking about taming that bulge. So this has a much narrower profile than the Power Project folder. You can see you cannot fit the same amount in there, but it works really well. So how do I help tame the bulge in these files? And I use this in so many other places too, is another one of my favorite organizers. So if we're talking about how do we tame those bulges, how do we contain, how do we, you know, flatten everything? And also, I am visual. I am such a visual person that I love seeing everything. So this is another product from Samsil. I have them right here that I use. And these are the 12 by 12 9 pocket protector for 4x4 photos. And these are ridiculously cheap too, so that you can feel really good about buying a whole bunch of them and using them. I do not use them for scrapping. I use them for storing my embellishments, and I love them. If you remember, I used to use, that's what I brought this out for. Oh wait, is it in here? I used to use, when I first started talking about this, baseball card sleeves, right? Coupon organizers. And a lot of, okay, there they go. I still have a lot of coupon organizers. This is the thing that happens. They fall out. I still have a lot of coupon organizers in, you know, the way I had these originally organized. But you can see sometimes what happens, our embellishments now, they're getting bigger and bigger, and they won't fit in here, or it's only an 8.5 by 11. And so the 12 by 12 size with the 4 by 4 pockets, oh my gosh, just love how that helps organize. So what I'm going to do is just share that again. So here I took the botanical burst and put these in all the little 4 by 4 pockets. Okay. And then that's flattening everything else. Otherwise you've got a big bulge of embellishments, right? But now I'm taking that, and I like to categorize it. So I put, leaves over here, petals over here, flowers here. Oh, I even have a few little scraps, little flowers here. Okay. So, I even have some punches in here. So that helps you visually find what you need, but also flattens everything down, which is, I think, super important when you have a smaller space, or when you're trying to keep your space tidy, like narrow. And then you can see that just slides right in these folders. And then like the botanical had stickers and then those flower embellishments and paper, and that was really it. So that's what I kind of categorize as a mama bear collection, not one that excuse me, has a whole lot of laser borders and sticker strips and 2 packs of stickers and 2 packs of paper. And how some of these collections are huge. We're going to talk about those too, but those go in the Power Project folder, not in the Mama Bear. This is the Mama Bear. Okay. And there was something else I wanted to mention about this. So the 4 by 4 pockets here. Oh, I know. Okay. I am going to share right here. So again, Samsil scrapbook page protectors. They have 3 rings, and this is what I do to those 3 rings. Okay. So these are Samsil. This one, Samsil, the paper sleeves, Samsil. Okay. And I'll show you. So I just take my scissors and I cut. I don't want those because it's hard to slide them in with the rings on the side. So I just cut these off just like this. Okay. And then this is a great, this is a great example. Let's take a look. Look at the bulge. Do you guys see the bulge? I don't know if how can I show you the bulge? Do you see the bulge? Bulge right here. Because this was a collection I had that I just threw the embellishments in here. And so I have extra space I can use on my shelf if I contain this bulge. So let's do that, okay? This is an older collection and it had a lot of pieces to it, but I don't have, I missed out on a lot of these. This was called Electric Summer. So it's a smaller collection. So it was originally in the record sleeve, but this is something I would now move now that I found the Mama Bear. Samsil Mama Bear. Again, that's this one. Paper file 12 pack. Okay. And I would move this. Okay. So let me just move my stickers over here. This is a little cutout. And then, right, like some of these embellishments are big for putting in baseball card sleeves, which was my first love because I didn't know about these. So we can just take these, get them off those little plastic holders. Look, I even punched, isn't that cute? That little camera punch. Punch that out. I haven't looked at this collection in a while. And, in a better world, I would probably go, okay, let's put all these into piles and categorize them, but we could maybe still do that. Like this one says bucket list. Isn't that cute? This is a little inner tube. Anybody have this collection? I'm going to check the chat in just a minute. I know I'm missing so many questions, but give me just a sec. So this was Electric Summer from eons ago. And so now, like, here's swimming. I could put swimming together with the inner tube, that swimming, maybe with the little swimsuit. And then we have tropical over here. We have this cute little fan. I have this little flash, can go with the camera. Let's see, this is sand and tropical. And the openings are kind of sometimes hard to grab. You have to kind of know where they are. And you do want your openings to be at the top, of course. This says bucket list and then a little ice cream. Okay, so, you know, you could organize those, like I said, however you want it. Now I have all these. The little fan doesn't want to go down there. In my grid, right? My 4x4 grid, and see how much I can see everything. It's spread out. Now let's grab one of the Samsil sleeves. Okay. And I'm just going to reuse my Avery tab that says Electric Summer. I'm going to stick this on here. And now I'm going to put my paper and stickers that I have left over from this collection. And you can see we've tamed, let me see if I have any other loose. I've got, oh, look at this. Look, I found a few more. See, haven't looked at this in a while. And I do have a few mat cards in this collection. Okay, so I'm going to take my paper and slide it in. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll keep the paper pack in the Ziploc bag. I don't know why. I don't know why. If it's like, well, maybe if somebody really, really wants it, you know, I can sell the whole thing to them, or I know what came together. But most of the time I take them out. But the nice thing is, if you want to keep some of your paper in the Ziploc, it goes in. It fits. It fits, no problem. So here's my mat cards. And the mat cards I typically will do half, right? So half on one side, half on the other. Now, usually in Mama Bear collections, they're the collections that don't have mat cards. I should just clarify that. But this one, like I said, I don't have much of this collection, so I still have this. So let's grab our embellishments again. And I found a few more. So I have a few more ice cream cones that can go together in here. And then where's that little, we can do the sun with the little beach. And we have tamed. See how thin that is. So now we can take that and slide it right in front. I like to put the embellishments in front of the paper. That's my preference. But you can put them in the back if that's better for you. And we have tamed the bulge. Look at that. Look how skinny. See? That's going to fit on the shelf so much better. Okay. Tame the bulge. That's my new thing. Tame the bulge. I just have to do that for myself. Okay. Electric Summer. So do you see? That's Mama Bear. This is Baby Bear. We're going to talk a little bit more about collections too. And using these awesome sleeves. Okay. So let me just take a second. I need to check in because I see the chat is flying by, but I need to clear a little space from my table so I can put some of these things away and share that with you. Okay. So we're going to talk about a couple other things here too. I'm going to leave these out. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So you like the mama bear, right? They're so awesome. Okay. Plastic bags that our product comes in. I have about 1,000,000 of these. I do too, Lynette. And I've emptied, removed labels from, and now I can't throw them away. So they are too good in causing clutter. Guess where I put mine, Lynette? I put mine in the kitchen. I put mine in the kitchen because I don't want to have to buy large Ziploc bags anymore. So I ended up taking my 12 by 12 bags from CM, the zipper bags, and I have them stored in my kitchen. So if I want to put tortillas away, that's what I use because they are big enough for a big round tortilla. If I want to put lettuce, or food things, they're fine for food things. And I have repurposed them in a different place than my craft room because I'm like you, I couldn't find places for my big zipper bags. I don't care for them because they don't have enough structure to stand in my cubbies. And that's what I need is the structure because I want those things to stand tall, stand tall like a pineapple, right? Or something like that. I need a little structure. Even the record sleeve covers, they don't like the zipper bags just flop, but the record sleeves stay straight. Okay. So, oh, thank you, Monica. Yeah. If you're enjoying this, give it a thumbs up. That's so sweet. Thank you. And Cherie says she's educational materials, right? So yeah, no more gallon Ziplocs, right? That's what I've done. Okay. I'm trying to get the chat a little closer for me to read here. Okay. So let's see. Oh, Mary Beth has a tip for the Glossy Avery tabs. If you have the Avery tab that is glossy, you can use nail polish to take it off. So even if a Sharpie, so that's great. The Avery tabs that I use are paper. So they're not that expensive though. So I end up just but I've had my tabs on for a long time. Anyhow, I usually just do that. A small circle punch at the top of each pocket, clipping just a half circle to give you a thumb hole to grab embellishments more easily. Lynette, that is brilliant. Okay, did you guys catch that? Once you get low on embellishments, do you leave them in the 4x4? Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Hi, Nicole. Summer pulling. I know, this is a cute old one. Okay, Lynette, this is one of my favorite. Let's go back and talk for a couple minutes about a few of those things. Okay, the girl after my own heart. How do we keep making things better? Love that idea. So this is one of my favorite things to have in my craft room. And I'm going to talk a lot more about this with my stamp and die storage. It is called a thumb notch. It's a thumb notch and it's from We Are Memory Keepers. And I love this thing. So what Lynette, I think what you were saying is what if you just put a little thumb notch? I don't know if it's going to punch through. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not going to like that. Oh, no. Okay, hold on. It didn't like the plastic. Okay, let me see if I can get something in there to release that. Yeah, it's not liking it. So I love the idea, Lynette, but look it's not helping me too much. I've got to get this little tab thing open. See if I can get that out of there. Let's think of something else we could do that we could use. If this one didn't have a good time with it. Let me see if I can take the backing off and punch it this way. So the idea is create a thumb notch. Maybe there's a better Maybe there's a better thumb notch. I'm going to have to take my scissors and just cut that out. So whatever, I guess we'll have to play around with that a little bit. Let me know what you guys find out. But the idea is cut a little notch. What I'm hoping is also, you know, maybe hint, hint, Creative Memories will come up with some really cool little inserts, right? So I think that's the idea, is to, it looks really bad, but to create a little notch. Wouldn't that be awesome if mine actually cut through? Maybe I need to try sharpening it. That might work. I can try one more time this way. Let's see. Upside down. No, it's stretching. What's happening is it's stretching the plastic. So it's got to be a lot sharper to cut through this. So I'm not sure what we're going to have to find to do that. Maybe you would have to use something like this. That's a little bit of a hassle to use the custom cutting system, but maybe it would be something like that. There we go. Okay. Another, you know, just the tool that I just grabbed. Can I just say, I had this idea and I've been trying it and I really like it. So if you are any interest into art, you'll know what these guys are. And they live now in my cart as well. And they're palette knives. And they're so cheap. You can get them like, I don't know, $6. You get a whole set of them on Amazon. I'll leave it in the, I'll link it. But these are like my new favorite tool. So if you're trying to lift some paper, the multi-purpose tool works really well too, but sometimes you need a little more strength. I am loving just having palette knives in my little cart cup holder for all the things. I mean, like you can see, I was just using it to open my punch that got stuck. Just another little tip. I was going to share that later, but since it came up, we need to find something. Okay, so onward. Let's see, what other thing? If I get low on embellishments, when a collection finally does finish, Cherie, what I usually do is put those into my color bins. And we're going to do color bins in a different episode, but those are those little bins that were, let me come back for a second. Those are, if you see way up there, over there. Those are my color bins. And I'm going to talk, I've talked about those before, but I'm going to talk about those again. And that is where I put those little scraggly one-off things, or sometimes we come out, we have an embellishment pack that doesn't really go with anything. That's where I do color bins, because again, I scrapbook usually by color. So those are deco something, I can't remember. They're on my favorite things list also. And that's where I put all certain color categories together. And then if I need something, I can just grab it. Okay. I hope, let's see. I hope I got most of the questions. Sandy says, are those Samsung Mama Bear folders like the old CM folders? I know. Yep. So many people say they are similar, Sandy, but they are gusseted. The old, that was like the original. I have one of those. Hold on. The original Power Project folder from Creative Memories had no gusset. Where are those? Oh, here it is. I still have a little stash of these. If you remember these guys, they had two pockets. They had a shorty pocket and then they had a taller pocket. And we have talked to CM about bringing these back. So I don't know what's coming, but maybe. But there's no, do you see? There's no gusset. So, the thing I like about the Samsil is you get a little extra scooch room because it has the gusset. Okay. So similar, but not so similar. But yeah, it would also be kind of cool if these had a little pocket in the front, and then you could put like your map cards and things. Okay, so here we go. I want to talk about a few more things. And wow, we've been going for an hour already. I know, it's so much about paper. All right, you guys. So one thing, when I showed my video and I said I do by seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter, I know people were talking about, or like, how do you label that? Okay, this is a cutting mat that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. So if you want, you could put a label and stick this on the shelf and put spring, summer, fall, winter, you know, holidays. You could do one that says travel. You could do whatever you want. Just an option. I thought I'd share that with you if you wanted to label that. Mine, actually, I have super old folders that just have a single tab in the center. And those are the ones that I have, why you can see these so prominently, the summer, spring, summer, fall, winter. But you could see, like, if you did that on something plastic, you know, you could separate your sections, or, you know, if you like the clear, or you could just use the cardboard insert from one of our paper things, right? Like, and stick a label. You could stick an Avery tab or whatever you want on that and label that as well. Okay, so that's why I had this here, just an option for, you know, kind of separating out your seasons and so forth. While I have this out too, there's so much to talk about for paper. So each season, I have a power project folder where I took all those miscellaneous, do you remember old CM they were called editions, and I took all of those and I gathered them and put them all in a season power project folder. So this has, again, you know, just miscellaneous stickers and journal mats and different things from the old CM, when it wasn't like necessarily a collection. So like here you can see I have, remember the old classic summer? I still love these, you guys. These are just so pretty. Love those. So those are all tucked in my seasonal power project folder. Then after the seasons, I'll go Mama Bear and Baby Bear, depending on, like what I showed you. Electric Summer was a Mama Bear. Summertime collection. This is a Papa Bear. This is a Papa Bear collection. So let's talk a little bit about Papa Bear collections. Papa Bear collections are the ones that there are a lot of pieces, or what I also like to say, I have a lot of. I have a lot because it's a favorite. Like, I really love the summertime collection. So you can see, again, I'm using the front two pockets for mats. I have these mixed up. I usually like my big ones over here and my journal cards over here. I have a few little scraps that I keep up top. And then on the back, I have stickers. And this is also a place, if I've made a border with this collection, I'll put that border in this pocket also, because I like to keep my borders sometimes with the collection. Like if I'm just on a border making binge and then I want to stick them in here, keep them flat. This is just an extra laser. So I'm not, you know, some of these are not put together perfectly, but let's take a look, because this one, I don't know if I have the embellishments. I don't think I have the embellishments in here. This one had lasers. Okay, let's take a look at this one because it had lasers. So the other storage pocket that I have not talked about, which also fits in the Power Project folder, are the fill and file sleeves. And what I was finding is I didn't have a good place for storing my laser borders with the collection until I found the fill and file sleeves. And these are the 2.5 by 12 fill and file sleeves. 2.5 by 12 fill and file by Creative Memories. This is my favorite pretty much for organizing collections because you can put in all those beautiful laser borders in here. And then this, you have to put, you know, if you didn't want the rings, you could cut them off. Or if you want to leave them on, the ring, sorry, the rings have to go at the top. Okay, and then this just slides in the Power Project folder. Whoops. And, you know, try to do it without the lasers falling out. Oh, and then another tip, when I get laser strips, and usually I'll buy 2, I like to, if there's, this one doesn't really have 2 sides. If there's one, let's see, maybe this one. Yeah. What I've started doing is if there's a laser where one is one color on one side and one is another color on another side, I'll do the flip, right? So I'll put them one in with one color and one in with the other color. Okay, so as an aside for that. And that way you can go, oh, you know, like sometimes there's like dark green. See the 2 different greens? Oh, much easier. As you can see, I didn't do it in this collection, but I've started doing that where I like to flip one color and one the other color. So again, visually, you can see that super easy and go, oh, these are pretty much the same. Which color palette do I want? Do I want a light green or dark green? I was kind of finding that when I was working on my Hawaii album because the collection I was using for that had, you know, different shades on both sides. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes it easier. Okay, so then you just slide that back in. All right, I'm going to do that over here. And you can, the laser, because those have this extra little tab at the top, I tend to put those in the back of my Power Project folder, just so I don't have to see this brown in the front. Maybe they'll come out with a clear one. I don't know. And then kind of go from there. Okay, so you can see like a summertime collection. There's a lot of pieces that I have. And then the fill and file sleeves work with the Power Project folders to contain all of that, along with the this. Okay, so by collection, that's kind of how I tame my collections. I use the Papa Bear, but then inside that, I will use the 4x4 pockets and the fill and file sleeves to kind of help keep things contained. So here's another example I did with seasonal sightings. I can see I've got this backwards again. I like keeping things. So this is a collection I've just started working with. So I haven't used a lot of this. And again, I've got my paper. I have a few little scraps in the front. And then see how everything is so contained and tidy? Here's my embellishments, all in my sleeve. And here's my lasers in my fill and file, right? And then see how this one I did do. I think that, oh no, those are 2 different ones. Never mind. This one, no, that's the same. I haven't put my second set in. That's why. Okay. And then on the back, right? On the back is stickers. Inside, I have all the different paper packs that go with seasonal sightings. Okay. Yeah, the fill and file sleeves do have a binder, Jenny, that you can use with it, with the fill and file. But I'm finding I prefer to keep like things together, because if I want the lasers, I want them with the collection. And that's what I've done, is just started putting them right in the Power Project folder So everything's together, just like I scrapbook. The other tip I want to share for Power Project folders is these guys are so hefty. Okay, let me see which one I did. Here's a great example of how much you can get in a Power Project folder. Okay, this is my Outdoor and Nature, which is in my travel collection. This one's a little bit of a hot mess, but what I want to share here is look inside the Power Project folder. So the big collection is called Outdoor and Nature, but inside I have some more memories. I have camouflage. I have Gallivant. I have scenic route. I have all these little mini collections that I've used a lot of different parts to those. But those, you can take the baby bear. Are you catching that, you guys? Baby bears can fit in Papa bears. Mama bears, not so much, but baby bears can fit in the Papa bear. So a smaller collection, I'll use the Avery tab at the top and then just slide it in a larger collection. So if I'm working on an outdoor travel album, now I've got it all in one folder. I don't have a bunch of little folders, just kind of, that I have to keep flipping through. It's all right in here. So I can just pull that out. But at least for me, now maybe you guys don't need to keep the collections labeled, but here's the thing. People would ask, Lauren, where'd you get that paper from? So for me, it was a little easier, or I guess if you ever want to look for that collection again to know where it came from. Like that's some more memories. Oh, that's the one that had that mosquito paper in it. Or the matches. Okay, so baby bears can go inside Papa bears. Just like that. Now, this is also where I have, this is a huge folder. This has tons of lasers in here too, because I'm a laser hoarder also. I'll admit that, but I have all my different travel lasers tucked in the back here too. Okay, so these, you can get a lot of mileage out of these big Power Project folders. A lot to do. All right. Yes, you like that, Sandy? The baby bear can go in the Papa bear. Just as another way to organize if you wanted to. So you could do, say, florals. I think actually I started doing that one. Let me see. Florals. That was another collection. I thought florals are going in spring, but then there's so many collections that, yep, here's another example. So many collections that were just paper, right? Like Happy Garden, Positive Vibes, all these different ones, they were just paper. So I put them in florals, okay? But then I kept them in a let me see, record sleeve cover, that one. I have to use the right term. And then I put the little Avery tab. And then these are all just in my florals Power Project folder. So now I can grab this, and if I need to check out what my florals are, I can just flip through that. Okay, so I hope this is kind of giving you some ideas and thoughts and different ways of looking at paper. And I can't remember, was it Tina? Somebody asked, what about putting Avery tabs on the side? That's why I have this here, of your Power Project folder. And she was having a hard time with them sticking. I can see that the bulkier these get, they might be harder. Sometimes I have taken and stored my Power Project folder so I could see the tag on the side, but I know sometimes things do fall out. And then I think they were saying it was harder to slide the, because of the way the gusset is. harder to slide into the shelf. So just options, you know, I think, yeah, it would be really awesome if there was a tab on this side. I started looking for different tabs, but really I keep coming back to the Avery Ultra tabs. They're my favorite. Why? Because they are long, right? These are almost 3 inches long, 2 and 3/4 inches long. I like to write big. I don't want teeny tiny little, you know, names and labels. I really want big. You can see how big I write. Big labels. So I love the size of these, and Avery tabs come in different sizes. Again, this is one of the kits I have on my cart, and I call it a labeling kit because whenever I want to label something, I want it all contained in a little box. So I know what I need is right here. My Avery Ultra tabs. I usually have a whole stash of these just sitting in here. I open them up, pop them in here, and they're waiting. They do come in different sizes and different colors. My favorite, though, are the white long ones. And shop around. They're linked also, but shop around. Sometimes if you buy 2 of them, you get them at a better price, 2 packs, you know, kind of all that good stuff. I also have in here a pencil, an eraser, and I get asked this a lot. Lauren, what is the pen that you use to write on your Avery Ultra tabs? These are hard to find too, but these are called Zig Fabric Color Twin. So Zig is the same company that Creative Memories uses for their pens. They're an excellent Japanese pen company, all archival, all safe, Zig. And the point on the fabric color pen is fat, right? It's much fatter than our journal pen, but it's not as thick as the bullet point, right? And it's just my favorite point for the pen. So I'm going to show you really up close. Do you see the point on that? And sometimes I can find them on Amazon, sometimes not. Sometimes I can find them and I order them in and I put them in the shop so you can get them there. But the black fabric color Zig marker is my favorite. So I have a stash of those. Those stay in my labeling kit along with my Avery Ultra tabs. Okay. The Samsil folders are available on Amazon, and I have the link to that on my favorite things page. So Samsil, I feel like I need to call them. They're a Texas company, so I think I should call them and say, hey, hang on, because there's going to be a lot of people wanting your folders soon. All right. I want to talk about 2 more things, and then we're going to wrap up because we are just, you know, I could probably go on and on about paper. As I mentioned, so season, color. We talked about color. We talked about seasons and kind of how we organize seasons. Theme, right? So we talked about florals. We talked about summer. You know, those are, well, that's a season. Theme. What other things can you do? So theme, and then my new category, like I said, is project. I want to share a couple things that other ideas. These are ideas. Think about them. See if it'll work for you. Another one of my favorite organizers is the 12 by 12 iris case, but this is the slim one. This is the skinny one, but it's 12 by 12. Do not get the 8.5 by 11. You have to make sure you get the 12 by 12. Sometimes these are not all very inexpensive. Like you have to, don't spend a whole fortune on these. But I do like these because 2 of them can fit in a normal space where one of the larger containers can be. I used to also use the larger iris cases, same brand, but just the fat ones, 12 by 12. until I fell in love with the Creative Memories case, which once you get your hands on these, you guys, they are so much better quality. I know you also pay for it, but the quality of these cases is so much better. The latches, the latches on these cases are super sturdy, and the construction of the case is much better. So on my shelf, what I also, we're going to get into project or theme. This could be theme or project/project, but what I had in my mind when I put all of this in this case is I'm going to, at some point, get to my kids' Scout albums. And way back, I mean, years ago, I found all this really cute Scout stuff for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. And I bought a bunch of it. So I have Girl Scouts in here and I have Boy Scouts. This was from the Scout Shop. I guess they licensed, or paper company got together with them. I think it was K&N Company. Yeah. And, you know, I mean, it's just darling. So at some point when I do my Scout books, I have everything now contained by project. This is a project box. And to label these guys, what I like are these little slip-in clear labels. And I've been using these for ages also. And you can find them at like your Dollar Tree, but I'll also try to find some that are on Amazon. And basically they're like a skinny label. And I'll show you, I haven't put it on my Scout one yet, but it's a skinny label that just sits right here on the box that you can slip in a piece of paper and then you can write. Like this is another box I have for all my page samples. So that would be how I would label these boxes. Or you could just take your label maker and put a label right here on the top of the handle, which is kind of what I did on the skinny one. So CM Conference. So this is a project. And I think that's another fun way to organize your paper is by project. If you remember, like you can't forget that you put them in here. So this one, as you can see, this was when I went to the CM Conference. So I have in here the paper pack Feeling Bright, because I got some of the different things from the conference. This was one of the gifts they gave to the speakers. And it's all in Feeling Bright. And I thought, oh, that would be a fun collection to use for this project. And it kind of goes along with some of the other items from the conference. So in here are, you know, some of the memorabilia, different things. Now I stuck my Feeling Bright collection in here. It's in a mama bear sleeve. You can see it's in a mama bear sleeve. And I can have everything ready for this project. Okay, so that's another little tip for you, is by project. And then this, we're going to get into what I have under my desktop here, like everything that's stored underneath there. That's where I keep a lot of my projects. So we'll get into that another day, but that's another tip. I want to just wrap up quickly with a fun little extra paper organizer tip for you for scraps. And scraps, I think there's probably as many ways to store scraps as there are people who have scraps, right? So I went around and around trying to find what's going to be the best way for me to store scraps. Then I realized how I use scraps. I use scraps a lot with my die machine, with my die cutter. And so those were really kind of this smaller format size scrap. And then my larger scraps I use in my Power Project folder. I just got through sharing that with you. Okay. But smaller scraps, again, we want to tame the bulge. Smaller scraps end up taking up a lot of space. So I came up with a different way of storing those. And this sits next to my die machine, my dies, my cutting dies and my die machine. And it has all my scraps. And what I finally had an aha moment one day, and I go, you guys know, I love my my photo folders, and the photo folders are just a way of taking an 8.5 by 11 paper. There's a free download on my website. You take an 8.5 by 11 paper and you fold one side up to make a pocket. You fold it over to make another pocket, and then you cut a notch, right? You cut a notch, and then you've got the label. Now, I don't know, making them this way, why you would need to cut a notch, but I went ahead and cut a notch. I guess it kind of helps you get rid of some of the fold over. So I took just colored paper. They're not labeled or anything because it's just a visual thing, and made little folders. So you could make them however you want, little folders for my scraps. So this is where I have the bulge. This is where my bulge lives. All those itty bitty little pieces now live in here. And remember how I said if you buy the 5 by 7 box with all the little the sorters inside, it's like getting this box for $3. There's a lot of different things you can use this box for, and this is one of my favorites. People have asked, what about the 6 by 6 paper? Perfect in here. Like, I don't know where this all came from, but I ended up with some 6 by 6 paper, and it fits perfectly in here. Just random paper I have. So again, in rainbow order always makes me happy. Yeah, and the punches, exactly, Monica. I use these for punching too, right? So you just want those little, like, oh, where's that blue? Oh, I want to get a piece of blue. So I love this box, and that's about all the scraps really I want to keep. Like, let's not go crazy with our scraps. And here's how I would do it. If I finished Croptoberfest, right? The Croptoberfest workshop with you guys. These are some of the pieces that I had left, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to put them away because I want to share how I would put them away. So these are some of my leftover pieces. So I have some small pieces of white, and I have some navy. Now this one is kind of a larger piece, so it's too big for my box. So I'm going to set that to go in my paper, the top shelf, right? My Power Project folder, white paper. This is going to go in there. Okay. Then I have the navy scraps. Now these are a little long for my box, but they're also kind of, they might be kind of too big for the Power Project. Like it's going to add to my bulk. So an option would be just to trim this down a little bit because I want everything contained in my box. Actually, this one will fit. So really this one, you could even fold it, or you could just trim that off. But let's just say we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna have that here. Let me scooch everything over a little bit. This definitely goes in my Power Project folder with paper. Now I have some green, and I've got a little pile of green. I have a little pile of white, and this blue, too big. That's gonna go in my Power Project folder. This is green. That's going to go in my stash. And then that's bronze. So that's another color. This is my big bronze. That's going to go in Power Project folder. This is little sheet. See, now I've got a place. I know where I'm going to put all of that. This is a large piece of white. It goes over there. This is green. That's going to go with the greens in my Power Project folder. I have another navy, white, navy, green. Do you see? It's so easy because I have a home for everything. So those are my scraps. I have a pile for my white Power Project folder, my white cardstock, blue, bronze, green. Now my scraps, all my blues, are going to go right in my little blue folder. Tuck it right in here. My bronze is going to go back in with my neutrals in the back. my white in here with my white folder, and then my green. And it's that easy, right? Like, how many of us have struggled? I have struggled with scraps, what to do with my scraps for a long time. So now, like Monica said, if I want to go grab a punch and just punch a little piece of yellow, it's right here. I've got my whole little rainbow right here in this little box. I just love it. So that's my scrap paper organization for you. And all contained in one place. Okay. Phew. Okay, so Joan, you don't see these boxes. These are the 5x7 boxes. So let me show you where that is again on Creative Memories, what they look like. Here we go. This is it. Okay. And it's the 5x7 photo box and cases. So inside, what does it say? I think it's 6, right? What does it say? 6 photo safe boxes. Yep. 6 photo safe boxes. And then they come with the larger box. And like I said, I like separating those out, right? So that the smaller boxes are what I keep all my other little stashy things in, like my labeling kit, right? And then my big box, I have other uses for this guy. Okay. Yeah. And so Cindy, you can get rid of your Ziploc, right? All right. So we have been going at it for a while, you guys. This is a favorite, definitely. And let's contain it, right? And then the bigger pieces, these bigger go in the Power Project folders, okay? Because that's not bulgy. It's the thinner, it's the little tiny pieces that end up kind of piling at the bottom that give you that bulge. So let's tame the bulge. And that's going to really help kind of keep things tidy and organized on our shelves. Okay. Whew. Okay. I know. Cindy says, I love, right, Cindy? I love organizing about as much as I love scrapbooking. Hallelujah. Can we give an amen to that? So if you do too, why don't you give a thumbs up or a heart and let us know how much you love organizing and for all the different things. So, okay, there's another question coming in. Can you show the Power Project folder again, please? Of course. And Lynette says, wow, she thinks there's hope for your paper organization, right? Okay, so Power Project folders. Power Project folders I use for season, for color, for seasons, and for themes. Okay, so I shared the pink, like these were my color. Let me grab that again. Color, pinks, solids, pinks, patterns, all through the whole rainbow. Seasons, okay, so that would be spring, summer, fall, winter, and all the holidays that go with those seasons. I keep my holidays with seasons. I don't keep my holidays separate. So Christmas is in winter. And then by theme, and I just happened to have pulled this one out. This is a theme, travel, outdoor and nature. And you can see just how much I have in all the different themes of outdoor and nature in here. Okay. So those are all things that belong in that category. So color, season, theme, and then I threw in kind of at the end by project. So if I'm working on my everyday moments, I know where to go in my cubbies to grab collections for that. Or if I'm working on Scouts, or if I'm working on my album for the Creative Memories Conference, I've got that. So that's just another way. So, and then there's the Papa Bear, the Mama Bear, and the Baby Bear. So on my shelf, if it's a smaller collection, so outdoor and nature, that's a bigger collection. But let me give you again that example. Okay, so Vineyard is a Baby Bear collection, but it is also in travel because I feel like that's where Vineyard belongs if we're going up to Napa or something like that. This is a Baby Bear, so it's a little tiny folder. Mama Bear would be something like this. This is London and Paris. So it had stickers and laser borders and paper. And so I just haven't I grabbed an extra set of lasers, but my other lasers, remember, are in the fill and file sleeves, which fit in Mama Bear as well as Papa Bear. Okay. So along with outdoor nature, depending on what you're trying to organize, you can also have different ways of finding places to put things. Right? Okay. All right. So many things, so many choices. I know. All right. Ellen, I'm so glad you've gotten so many ideas. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've changed your mind, Jenny, for storage. All right. So, yeah. Let me come back here for a second. Whew, we did it. We talked a lot about paper. We've almost talked for 2 hours about paper. All right, you guys, let me hear it. I want to know what you guys are thinking. So once we're done, if you're watching the replay, leave some comments for me, ask your questions. I will have a chance, hopefully, to go back through both on YouTube and on Facebook and try to answer some of those questions. Or if I don't get them replied to, I will write them down just like I did today and try to answer those questions again at the beginning of our next session. So I am really excited to share with you next week. If you guys love stamps, so my little side passion is stamps. And if you like carts, wait till I share my stamp cart with you, because I've had some fun finding the perfect containers to go in my perfect stamp cart. And that is a different size cart than what I have next to me for scrapbooking. And it's the long cart from Michael's. It's the super long one. I don't know what it's called. Not sure. But I'm going to give you a tour of my stamp cart and some of my favorite stamp and die organizers, because that has taken me a long time to figure out as well. And I finally did it. I've got my favorites, you guys. So I'm going to share that with you next week. All right. And so leave your comments, leave your questions. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. We're going to be back next week for some more tidying up on Tuesday. So stay tuned. And until I see you again, be sure to take some time to craft your joy, and we'll see you again soon.